Gold have been consolidating, and last time we talked, have been consolidating for a long time, just around 1850 to 1900, around that. It broke that decisively.
Here at Liberty in Finance, we're licensed brokers with Miles Franklin. We are standing by the inventory, ready to make sure you get what you need, even into the wee hours of night and on weekends, because preparedness doesn't stop. Call us 1-888-81-LIBERTY. That's 1-888-815-4237.
Hey everyone, this is Elijah K. Johnson with Liberty in Finance. And back with us today is our good friend Chen Lin from chenpicks.com. Chen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Elijah. Nice to be here.
It's great to be here with you on this very exciting day as we're seeing precious metals jump quite a bit. Gold is above 1900. Silver is around 2450. Platinum is almost, back up to 1100, and palladium is also making a move as well. So your perspective on what is causing all these jumps in the markets today?
Well, Ukraine, right? That's one simple word. And then there's all these uncertainties, whether what's going to happen next, right? Russia already annexed like 2 Republican and then sent the troops over last night. Are they going to attack or are they going to hold off? And then what's going to happen next? Market is going down. A lot of uncertainty right now. Actually, just at the low of January, late January, if you notice S&P. So are they going to hold this, or they have a little bounce, or we just go down from here? There's so much uncertainties, right? And then recently, the disappointment of crypto actually make people realize gold actually is in time of crisis, gold and silver is the store of the value. So there's more buying of gold. We see the ETF inflows of gold inflow. And then because Ukraine, Russia is 45% worldwide palladium production, and also very major platinum as well. So we see palladium and platinum start to move. That's very interestingly, we mentioned a little bit earlier, from the palladium movement, okay, you can almost predict what Putin going to do. So right now, the palladium market is telling me, especially yesterday, it was very flat because when Putin make the announcement, I saw when I wake up next morning, palladium could go up $200, $300. It didn't. Actually went down a little bit. It tells me that Putin hasn't made up his mind yet. I can tell you why, because Russia is a very corrupted institute. If Putin made up his mind, his lieutenant will know, right? They're going to attack. And then all these oligarchs will know because they are so much intertwined. And Russian control 40 to 45% world palladium. They refine in Switzerland. They go to Switzerland very often. They know the market very, very well. What happened in January, right? January 24th, that's when Russians start sending the demand. 26th, when the United States reject demand, then they start escalating. But if you look at palladium market, it's 1 week, more than 1 week ago, they start to make a decisive move. Why? Because someone in Russia knows what's going to happen. From the chart of yesterday, the palladium market is telling me that Putin hasn't decided yet. So it's like a stalemate. And we have to watch closely to the market. Today, palladium had a big move, but gold also making a move. So it's not very convincing because it could be fund buying, could be GM and Ford buying to hedge their palladium, right? That's possible. Because when the oligarchs are buying, they buy when the market going down. They will buy yesterday, right? So when a very tough day, everything go down, including gold and silver, and palladium, platinum, they would for them to buy because they have the inside information, but it didn't. So it seems to me Putin hadn't made up his mind. So we'll see in the coming days.
As this Ukraine-Russia situation heats up, do you see precious metals continuing to rise?
Yeah, absolutely. Precious metal made a statement in the past few weeks. in time of crisis, gold is where to go, right? Precious metal, people going there. And then there's a significant inflow. Gold is breaking out from the triangle. If you notice, gold has been consolidating. And last time we talked, have been consolidating for a long time, just around 1850 to 1900, around that. It broke that decisively. So it seems like going from upside. The only thing can pull gold down is the piece, Putin decide to pull back. It's true. And it may happen. But right now it doesn't, nobody really know besides Putin himself, I would say. But so far as I said, palladium market seems he hasn't decided. He wants to see if maybe there's a room to a negotiation. So they could go either direction. So I go for cautious. If there is some pullback or some kind of effort, then when that day gold will go down very hard. That could be a day to buy.
Now, when do you see new highs then for gold and silver?
Oh, the highs, when the bull market, the typical bull market, when they go high, will be higher than prior peak. So I think, gold can easily go to 2,500, silver probably, 30. I mean, silver usually go later than gold, and then silver usually go higher. And I do expect and I do hope silver go to triple digit in this cycle. The only thing is all these awards that that's the issue, right? Silver is used in a lot of industrial use. Silver is used solar panel. Silver is used semiconductor. So if there's some disruptions of the supply chain, like last year, silver demand could go down, industrial demand, because of war, because of sanctions, or the other thing, that it could be, an issue for silver this year. But we have to see what Ukraine situation unfolds.
Can you remind our viewers some of the signs to look for? Because we are seeing a pretty dramatic move right now. And typically when we see dramatic moves, we also do see consolidation. So what are some signs that we might be headed for a period of consolidation going forward?
Oh, I mean, right now it's really news driven, right? Really news driven. So if you find if the news getting worse and then gold, it cannot make new high, usually that's kind of consolidation phase. Okay, so you should see the momentum of moving gold, and also should watch the fund inflow to gold miners. Gold miner inflow has been very strong, so it looks to me it's like a young bull market just starting. But of course, it depends on the Ukraine situation.
Definitely. Now, there is another development with respect to the Chinese cryptocurrency. I know for the Olympics, they're actually accepting that as a currency, crypto. So your perspective on this development that China, is rolling out their new cryptocurrency and how that might impact things going forward.
Yeah, it's very interestingly, Olympic usually only accept two, Master and Visa, because of their contract. But in this Olympic, you check the appetite 3. It's Visa, Master, and then ERB. Okay, so what it does is it's on your phone, and then you can just scan it or use a transmission. If you feel safe, and people don't feel safe, just scan it to pay online payment. Okay, so my understanding, I'm not an expert for crypto, but I checked with some crypto expert. They told me it's based on the next generation crypto foundation. So their transaction cost is very, very low, at least 10,000 times lower than Bitcoin, at least. So there's something maybe 50,000, but it's very low. Bitcoin, one of the advantage of Bitcoin is the low transaction fee. If you know, it's a $38,000 Bitcoin. The transaction cost is between $2 and $3 last time I checked. So it can, it's all, so much lower than all the Visa, Master, all the credit card, and then even wiring transactions they can beat, and even the except ACH, right? So it's probably the cheapest. But for RMB, it's coming at so much lower. Bitcoin, they're going to China, at least initially, they will make a transaction cost free. So zero transaction fee. The government fund is actually cheaper to sponsor this than print the paper money. The paper money costs you money to print and to circulate, to anti-fraud, all these things, but this one actually cheaper. So this is a new things coming out. It would change the world, a lot of transactions, because they also have coming with all the other features that it's anonymous until a certain number. Same thing as the United States, right? If it's over 10,000, the bank has to report, supposedly have to report to you. The Chinese RMB, e-RMB is certain, small transaction is anonymous, but if you have a limit, they hit a limit, they know who's making, in case it's illegal transaction, whatever. So, and then it's zero transaction, very attractive, especially to the merchant, right? To the sellers, because you don't pay 3% or whatever to be the master. So it's going to have a huge impact in the world, and especially with this Russian crisis, Ukraine crisis, anything sanctioned on Russia, they can switch to RMB instead of Euro or USD, and then they do the e-transactions. Yeah, so there's nothing you can do about that. So I think United States and Europe has to respond. So they're going to come out with e-US dollar maybe a year or two later. E-Euro will come out, and then China, because the first mover, they may have more broader base, so it will be like 3 major e-currency in 5 years. It will be RMB, USD, and then Euro. So that's actually a big threat to crypto right now, because their transaction fee, because again, next generation crypto, they're so much lower than crypto itself. So that's something, if you invest in crypto, you should pay special attention to.
So what you're saying is kind of these central bank digital currencies could become the dominant currencies. So you're looking at the RMB, the euro, and the dollar kind of being digital cryptocurrencies created by the central banks. Now, this will impact Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all these other major cryptocurrencies. Do you think they'll kind of go out of use? How do you see that playing out?
Oh, I think if, a large, small sum, if US dollar, US and euro, new euro, similar to RMB, it will be anonymous and small amount, then they will take a lot of usage, like Amazon, whatever, out of crypto, because if it's zero transaction or very, very low transaction, because like Amazon, like Walmart, would more than happy to accept the other form. Like they very prefer to do that because zero transaction fee. But it's a large amount, especially illegal. Probably crypto is still the way to go, right? So that could be the thing. When it become more legalized, the transaction when become a little bit controversial. I put it transaction that some transaction you don't want to transact out of the current government system.
Now, how do you see this impacting just the currency that we have today, like the US dollar?
Yeah, it's kind of very interesting because China make the first move. I can pretty much sure that all these Russian oligarchs and then all these Iranian, whatever oil guys who has a problem with the United States, they will move to the e-RMB, especially there's more and more widely accepted. So they will have a serious threat to the United States, especially to the US dollar. So that's what I believe, that United States has to respond to that, because, you come in with the currency, no transaction fee, you don't need to pay Visa, Master, American Express, all these fees. And so merchants would more and more prefer to do that. You like China around for 10 years, that will dominate the world, right? So they have to come out with something, I think, very soon.
And for the average person, how is this going to impact them? Because if they're going to be changing from using cash or just their credit card to actually using cryptocurrency for everyday transactions, is that what is going to happen?
Yeah, it will be very interesting. I mean, there's a lot of discussion. They think the loser will be the credit card company. The winner could be some kind of company. It could be the phone company, because the phone could be a perfect platform for in the future crypto, right? So basically, this will change the world upside down in the 5 to 10 years. There will be winner and losers, but you should be very careful about that, and put it this way. And then for the users, and one interesting function of a Chinese RMB is that you don't need to be online to use it. Okay, so I don't know how the technology probably puts some money on your phone, and then you can use it. And when you're online, you synchronize it, but you can use a portion of it. I do not know, but you don't need to be online, which is kind of very interesting because all these online payment require you to go online to use it, right? So that there will be another device on your body to pay. So put it this way, it could be a phone, and most likely, so that there's talk about the phone company could be the winner, but we'll see.
Now, there's this debate out there whether cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are as good as gold, right? They're limited in supply, and the blockchain, people say, kind of give it some intrinsic value. But if we are moving to central bank digital currency where it's not limited in supply, it doesn't seem very comparable to gold. So do you see central bank digital currency impacting precious metals at all, or taking any demand away from real sound money?
Oh, no. On the contrary, I would think there will be increased demand of gold. For example, China's gold reserve is like 1/10 of the United States. For China to want their digital currency to be successful, they probably want to increase their gold reserve to show people we really have gold backing our digital currency. I think it could be positive. We have to watch. I'm watching the Chinese central bank gold reserve has been flat as a pancake in the past few months, but they may be secretly buying. They probably don't announce it until they buy as much as they could. That's just a guess, and this is not very transparent.
Now, China seems to be pretty much the first one rolling out a central bank digital currency. How do you see this impacting then the US dollar? Because the US dollar is really the dominant currency around the world. It's the world reserve currency. Do you see this changing in the near future?
Yes, I think this can have a serious threat to the US dollar. For example, just look at the Russian-Ukraine, right? I mean, any sanctions on Russian banks and whatever is useless if they switch the RMB, right? Because Russia can turn around, sell almost everything to China instead of Europe. And then they get this digital RMB, and then they can use other to buy, because China is biggest trading partner for almost all the country in the world, right? So they can use that. If they can use that to buy, that's serious problem for United States and the US dollar. So that's why I believe, almost certain United States will have to respond to that.
Before we let you go, did you want to share with the viewers any last thoughts you had and where people can find you online?
Yeah, I have a website called chenpix.com. That's I write a newsletter usually, for my subscribers, and tell them what I think and which direction and my stock pick, where am I investing. So that's generally I do. But most of my time I actually manage my family investment.
All right, Chen. Once again, thank you so much for your time, and God bless.
Thank you.
Miles Franklin Precious Metals is one of America's oldest and most trusted bullion dealers. Miles Franklin is A+ rated and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, licensed and bonded, and has 0 complaints ever registered. Here at Liberty and Finance, we are licensed brokers with Miles Franklin. To order, simply call us, discuss your needs, and we will let you know our live inventory, prices, and availability, and lock in your order over the phone. Once your order is locked, the price is held for you regardless of market fluctuations, and the metals are reserved for you awaiting your settled payment. Within 1 business day of ordering, you will receive an email invoice detailing the order and payment instructions. Miles Franklin accepts payments by bank wire, ACH or electronic check, money order, check mailed priority mail, and cryptocurrency. The fastest forms of payment are bank wire and cryptocurrency. Upon settled payment, metals will ship out within 3 to 5 business days. You will receive tracking information via email. Domestic shipping charges are $15 for any order under 500 ounces of silver or 10 ounces of gold. For orders larger than that, domestic shipping is free. The package will be double boxed, fully insured, and labeled discreetly, with no indication of the contents inside. For your privacy, the name Miles Franklin will not even be on the package. To talk to myself, Elijah, my brother Kaiser, or my father Dunnigan, call 1-888-81-LIBERTY. That's 1-888-815-4237.